Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. We're doing a pick-up reading today on your future family for those of you who are single or um, they're almost married or are newlyweds or are engaged, right? But this is mostly for singles, and we're gonna get all the tea on what your future family is like, your future kids, your spouse, your in-laws, right? So, as in every pick-a-pile reading, we have three piles here. There's pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. Okay, pick whatever feels right to you in the moment, or what we can do is there's 30 days in a month, right? Or 31, depending on which one you were born in. So, first 10 days, 1 to 10. If you were born between 1 to 10, your group would be pile 1. If you're born between 11 to 20, yours is pile 2. And if you were born between 21 to 31, yours is pile 3. Okay, now this is only in case you're struggling with picking your pile. If you don't have any issue with that, just, pick whatever pile you're feeling drawn to. Okay, and then we'll get to your readings. I'll give you a moment, meditate on it, and your timestamps will be pinned in the comment section. Don't worry. It'll also be there in the description. So, yeah, I'll leave you to deciding. I'll give you a moment of silence here. Also, before I do that, um, I have recently started uploading these collective readings again. So, any support is appreciated. Leave a message, a comment, a like. Let me know what your piles were, what you felt about the reading. Did it give you information? Did you get all the tea? All sort of things. Okay, but yeah, I'll stop talking. Hello, my fine ones. Um, Welcome to your reading. I'm excited for all of you. And the general information on pile one is already on the screen. Your affirmation is that you are complete. You don't need someone to step into your life to make you feel like, oh yeah, now I'm complete. If you've been through all your life feeling like you needed one person to come into your life and then life would feel complete, if that one person walked in, I would finally feel safe or loved or cared for. That's not true. You are a whole on your own. You may not realize it yet, but it is the truth. It is your ground reality. Your lucky color is red. It can be any shade of red, but for you, more pastel reds and a bright red. A couple of you, even deeper reds would work, but the vermilion red is very, the bright red that's usually used in sindoors, right? That's really lucky for all of you. Your lucky numbers are 3, 4, and 2, and your lucky days are all of them. Cliche, but yeah, that's what I got for you. But yeah, let's get into your reading. In this reading, we'll look at your future spouse, your kids, and your in laws in that order. Okay. And in your future spouse, I'll do the men first, then we'll go to the women. If you're into men, you can listen to like the first part, and if you're into women, you can hear the women's description. And um, and then we'll do the characteristics, and characteristics will be kind of combined. Okay, like being patient and stuff like that. And if there's a characteristic that is particular to a gender, I'll let you know. And then how much they care about you. Okay, we'll do 3 parts even in the spouse. Okay, and we'll follow a similar rhythm even for the other 2 parts, right? Like the in-laws and the future kids. Let's look at your future spouse. All the future spouses deserve a whole reading, and this is kind of like a very, introductory reading for who your future family is, just getting you into that energy, and then we'll, polish what your in-laws are like, what your kids are like, what your future spouse is like, more in depth in other pick-up eye readings. Because if I do all of them really detailed in one reading, it's gonna take me forever. And finishing 3 piles wouldn't be feasible. Ooh, we've got jumpers. Hmm. A very prominent nose. Okay, this person can have a sharp nose, a very thin, slim nose. For the masculines, it's more flat. The women have a sharp nose, the masculines have kind of a flat nose. It's not bad, but it's not as prominent as the women, you know? Like, the wolves have such sharp noses, right? The snout, if that's what it's called. And then you compare that to the bear, it's very different, right? Both of them have good noses, nothing wrong with that, but just the structure. And masculines are tall, but not crazy tall. Like if you're 5'4" or something, your masculine will be a 5'8". Okay, and for the women, like if you are 6 feet something, your woman's gonna be 5'8". There's not a huge height difference, okay? But the masculines here are definitely tall. Even if you're a man, you know, you're gonna be the taller one in this relationship. Not by much, but you'll be there. And they have very strong features. Like there'll be one point in their face. They either have the juiciest lips, okay, or the sharp nose, or like really deep eyes, okay. The hair's gonna be pretty dark on the darker sides. Um, they may have highlights here and there. This is for both the man and the woman. Like they can have blonde highlights, gold highlights, red highlights, but yeah, the highlights will be there. And or they may want to get a little color, but they haven't gotten enough time to. But yeah, dark hair, very healthy hair. I'm jealous. And the eyes can be lighter shades, like light brown, green, not blue. Like for a few it can be blue, but it's not very, the creepy blue. No offense to all my blue-eyed sweethearts, but some blue-eyed people, they just when they look at the sun, when their eyes are out in the light, it just looks creepy sometimes. So no, a very subtle blue. Okay. And they're very simple. In their outfits, they like wearing monotones, solid colors. They can do a little print here and there every now and then to get that, you know, stepping out of that boring, same, mm, like the same habit, like to break, um, to do something different, basically. They may pull out some prints, but they're more neutrals. They like having very neutral shades on them. Solids are their thing. If you're hearing this reading for a lady, she may like wearing like floral length stuff, like dresses and frocks. Frocks aren't really floor length, but like longer. And they like flowy stuff. They don't like too much structure sometimes. And for the masculines, like baggy pants. Um, yeah, you know the ones I'm talking about, right? I think all my ladies mm, can sort of picture the kind of pants I'm talking about, like the neutrals, like beige and brown, and they're like very, they don't give a lot of shape, but they do give a lot of height to the man, So the man's very, um, I think both men and the women in the pile are very, uh, very cautious of how they look, you know. They want to know how they look, they want to know how they present themselves. Like physical appearance is very important to them. And when you look at them, it's gonna feel like, oh wow, this person is like very well educated and comes from like a really good family and stuff like that. So, you can feel that, um, what's the word? Mm, the elegance and the maturity. from how they look. They may be immature sometimes out of safety, but when they're out in the open, they're very authoritative, very grounded. You'll feel like, oh, this is the most mature person I've ever met in my life. Okay. And they're very moody sometimes. Like some days they want to go all out and like dress up like a model or something. But some days they just want to lay back and roam around like a homeless person. But they'd be caught dead before letting someone see them in their homeless aesthetic. I mean, you, of course, because you are their spouse, but let's see. Let's look at their characteristics, how they are as a person. Yeah, very authoritative. They don't like people telling them do this, do that. They'll do things, you know. They love caring for people around them. So they'll offer to help every now and then. They're very attentive, but they hate when people are bossing them around. Like, who the hell are you? Telling me to do all this? No, you will listen to me, kind of a thing. Okay. And they hate people telling them what to do. They'll decide what they want to do, you know. That authority, that power struggle. Uh, they love exploring new places. Okay, they want to try out new things. One day they're learning how to cook. One day they're learning how to crochet. One day they're learning how to make a flower arrangement and just stuff like that. Like they're into trying new things, making new things, experiencing new things. And in this regard, they're very childish. You know, you know how children, when they explore new things, they're very wide-eyed, bright-eyed, all curious, excited, stuff like that, right? This is how they feel as well. And they love being all curious. They'll be like a little child when they're learning new things. I think you'll find that very cute about them. They love taking care of the people they love. Okay. Their love language can be acts of um, service, but yeah, they just love taking care of people they love. Like, maybe their mother may, you know, um, offhandedly mention that, my legs hurt today, right? And you'll see them like run around and bring some pain relief ointment or something, you know. They're very attentive in these little ways, and they're very giving as well. Um, like anyone needs help, they'll be the first person stepping up and helping. You see all these reels where something's happening and no one's helping, and suddenly one person pops in, that person jumps, runs to help, and everyone else follows, right? Something like that. This person will be like that. Like they'll jump in, they'll want to help and do everything they can. Very helpful in nature, very kind. They're very balanced. Okay. They know how to balance their love life, they know how to balance their family life, they know how to balance their work life. You know, work's never gonna ruin their family. Their family's never gonna ruin their work. Their work's never gonna ruin their love life. Their love life's never gonna ruin family. Family's never gonna ruin love life. Um, Work's never gonna overlap with love life, vice versa, the whole deal. Okay? Um, they'll care for their parents, they'll care for their family, but they'll also care for you. They'll also care for your family. You'll never feel like, oh, this person's a mama's girl, mama's boy, or a daddy's girl, daddy's boy, kind of a thing. You know, any relationship they hold, they're the best at it. Okay? Let's see how this person will treat you. Oh, it's gonna be chaos. um, there'll be a lot of fights between the both of you, but it'll be very playful fights, you know, like, mm, why did you steal my toothpaste? Or how could you brush from my toothbrush? Or why did you leave a wet towel in the bed? Just the usual. They're patient everywhere in life, but with you. With you, they feel safe enough to complain, to explore, to express. With everyone else, they had to build a front. They had to be mature. But with you, they feel safe enough to express, show their um, discomfort in the whole spectrum of feelings. With you, they don't feel like they have to perform. And they love taking you to explore new places. Like, it doesn't have to be like a whole world tour, but it'll be things like, mm, hey, there's a new restaurant that opened up around us. Let's go check that out. Very spontaneous outings, and every new place, they want you with them. Okay. So, just a very lovely person in general. Now, let's see how your in laws are, who they are, and how they'll treat you. Your in laws, maybe a nuclear family, okay? Looks like there was a lot of family drama involved, and they split up, and it was a whole drama. But yeah, nuclear family, but they're very level-headed. They weren't the ones that caused the drama, they were more of a victim. But they have a very strong sense of justice. They will never let anyone suffer in their watch. So, one thing I can guarantee you is you'll never be mistreated around them. You know, and they won't jump to conclusions. Like, you see with a lot of in-laws, right? You see that they inherently take the side of their child. But with your in-laws, they'll hear your perspective and your partner's perspective before, telling whoever's wrong that, hey, you're wrong. This is like the issue. Maybe both of you should work on it, etc. You know, very level-headed, and they they love traveling too. I think this is where your future spouse's love for traveling comes from. They're very well educated as well. So, they'll encourage you to continue your education or try new things like your future spouse does. I think they'll treat you as their own child. You know, like this is exactly the kind of a family that raises a person like your future spouse. which I love. Very level headed, very happy. They don't dwell in the past. They don't trauma dump. Okay. Like, you know how you see in all these toxic families, the in law is like, oh, but my in law treated me like that, so I'm gonna treat you like that. Right? They won't be like that. They'll be more of my trauma ends with me kind of a person. Okay. And financially, they're very secure and they're very emotionally tuned with their family. Like, once you're their family, you're their everything. So, just a very lovely family in general. Yeah, they'll treat you as a family member, a friend. There's this belief system in Hinduism that the new bride um, is goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and abundance. Okay, and they'll treat you as such. If you are from that culture, you may know what I'm talking about. But yeah, if you're not, you may look it up. But you'll be treated with a lot of respect, like you're their lucky star. Okay. And let's see what's up with your children. You know? You may have more than two children, okay? And your children are gonna be very good kids, okay? And they're gonna be very balanced individuals, okay? You treat them well, they'll treat you well. You treat them bad, they won't be around for you to feel their anger, okay? And they're gonna grow up with a lot of things. They'll be talented, they'll be loving, caring, well educated, well settled, financially in a good place. Overall, really good kids. They'll have a happy family, they'll be married, they'll have kids, and they may end up in a lot of issues time to time, like having arguments with you, your future spouse, but they'll always come back to the both of you. Okay. It's never gonna be like, oh, I had a bitter argument with my parents, so I'm just not gonna speak to them ever. You know? They're gonna make up with you, you're gonna make up with them. It'll be a very good family. So, Palwan, that's all I have for you. Um, in the coming pickup files, we're gonna go into all sort of details about these people. So, for this reading, this is all I have for you. Hmm, it's like 25 minutes long. But yeah, thank you so much for trusting me with your time, space, and energy. I hope the reading resonated. I hope you get a lovely family. I hope I'm given the honor to read for you again. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know you're from pile one. Let me know how you felt about the reading. And yeah, thank you so much. It was lovely having you here. And I'll see you in the next reading or the next stream. Bye bye. Hello, my pile two. How are you? Welcome to your reading on what your future family is gonna be like. The reading's divided into three parts: who your future spouse is, who your future in-laws are, and who your future kids are like. Okay. For the future spouse, we're gonna do how they look physically, what their characteristics. ex are and how they treat you, with your in-laws, who they are and how they treat you, with your kids, who they're going to grow up to be, and what your relationship will be with them. Okay? And yeah, the base a couple of informations for your pile. Your affirmation is that the universe loves you. You are loved. If you believe in the universe, it's universe loves you. If you believe in the spirit loves you. If you believe in God, God loves you. You know, it's a very universal affirmation. Take it how it fits in your individual life. Okay. Your lucky color is going to be green, a very peacock green, and I'm getting a very specific green. Like when you think of a green, not too light, not too dark, right? Something in between, but very glossy. Okay. And your lucky numbers are 0, 7, and 5. Your lucky days are all the days. I know, very cringe, but yeah, that's what came through. Fortunately or unfortunately, right? So let us look at the information on your future spouse, who, how they look. Okay, pile number 2. Pile number 2, your there's gonna be a good height difference between you and your future spouse. Okay. For the masculines, your future spouse is gonna be really short, and if you're into men, your man's gonna be really tall. There's a good height difference between the both of you. And they have very gentle features, nothing too sharp, nothing too attention seeking. Like, some people have like huge eyes, right? And in their face, when you look at them, all you can see is the eyes. And they're very gentle features. The face is very in harmony. The very pretty, well balanced features. Okay. And the hair, uh, maybe dark, but they have a very overall color. Okay. They can have their hair naturally, or they may have colored their hair, but it's not streaks or something. It's something all over. Like it can be brown, but it's brown all over. It can be red, but it's red all over, kind of a thing. Right? And um, they may look like someone who would be a foreigner to you. Okay, someone who's not from your native country or state. Like I say state because in India, geographically, or I don't know what the right term is. Like if you look at South Indians, you look at North Indians, you look at East Indians, like Northeast. If you look at uh, West Indians, it's like a whole mix, you know. You can find people that look like different ethnicities. So hence I'm saying states, okay? But if they're from different countries, then they can look like someone who is from a different ethnicity. Yeah. Someone who doesn't really look like you or people who are native to your country. Okay? And they may have a darker complexion compared to you. But they have really beautiful eyes. You know I said that everything's in harmony, but things can be in harmony and you can still have beautiful eyes. You know, their eye colors can be like they're more on the deeper side. Ooh, yeah. Hmm. Like black, dark brown, stuff like that. Just very darker shades of eyes. Um, let's see who they are characteristics wise. I'm not. Also, the physical features weren't really gender specific, unlike pile one, because masculine and women very similar features. Okay. Oh yeah, your future spouse loves color. Okay. Like in the outfits they wear, they love colors, prints, they love exploring. Fashion is a way of self expression for them. Okay. This person characteristically is very peaceful, calm, patient. They're very, some people, they just are. The energy around them, their aura just gives off that this person owns the world, right? Something like that, that soft confidence. And they may speak very quickly, okay? They may have a habit of speaking very quickly. It may stem from a childhood trauma where they felt that, they weren't heard before. Like, in some families, um, the kids, no one really listens to them, right? So the kids speak really quickly so that they feel like if I speak quickly, people will listen to me more. That sort of a mindset. Their love language can be acts of service, but it's mostly um, giving, like giving gifts. I don't know what it's called. What's that love language called? Um, whatever it's called. They love spending money on the people they love. They love giving gifts. How they are, and they're very family oriented, okay? They love family, they want to build a family. They may come from a broken home, a toxic environment where they were surrounded by narcissists or abusers or abusive people, and they want their future family to be a very loving and caring one. They'll treat you with a lot of respect. You'll never feel like, oh, this person disrespects me, etc. You know, very calm, peaceful, loving, caring. You're never gonna feel like, oh, this person is using me. This person is gonna care about you a lot, because for this person you've actively chosen them, you've picked them to spend the rest of your life with, and that comes, this information humbles this person a lot. There's nothing more humbling, or there's nothing more kind. This is like the purest form of love you can give them, kind of an information. For them, like, this is love. They think that you love them enough to spend the rest of your life with them, then, they could give you everything they are and everything they have, and it still wouldn't be enough. So they respect you a lot. They'll, not have fights with you. Anything you want, they'll give it. You know, you can ask for the world and know that they'll give it. As long as it's in their capacity, they'll give it to you. If it's not, they'll try their hardest to. Okay, wow, what a loving future spouse. Let's look at your in laws now. Okay, your in laws in general are very shy people. Okay, like, um, if you've seen all these reels on how our parents were the last generation of innocent people, etc., something like that. Their parents are going to be very gentle and very shy, introverted. They may not come from a lot of wealth, but they do come with a lot of education or knowledge in one field or the other. You know, like, they may not have the blessings of finances, but they do have the blessings of knowledge. Okay, and they do come from a broken home where trauma was prevalent. So they just either fight a lot or avoid conflict altogether. They're very, they want to save a lot of money and things like that. Like, there's a lot of insecurity regarding money, surrounding money. As for how they'll treat you, you'll be the apple of their eye. They'll love you, they'll care a lot about you, sometimes even more than their own child, you know, and they'll respect you as a person, and they'll respect your um, relationship with your future spouse. They'll look at you and they'll just love you. Okay, you'll you are their family, and they'll treat you as such. They're not going to mistreat you. Sometimes they may slip up and the trauma may show up in how they talk. Like, how sometimes old aged people are like, oh, but we did provide you with money and a shelter, etc. Right? That mindset may slip through, but as soon as they realize that this is what's happening, they're gonna step back. They're gonna be like, no, let's not talk about this. Okay? Like, they'll actively try to be better. They're like, we know we're not perfect, but we're gonna try being better for you. Right. Now let's look at your kids. Um, you may have a single child, or you can have multiple. children. But yeah, if you have multiple children, it'll be like a girl or a boy, like one girl, one boy kind of a thing. But yeah, your children are gonna be very independent, you know, like, um, from a young age, they're going out buying whatever stuff they need. Like, if you and your future spouse give them pocket money, these kids will be like, okay, this much I'll spend, this much I'll save, this much I'll give mama, kind of a thing, you know. They'll be very independent, but at the same time, they'll be very mature and understanding, right? Not a lot of chaos that you'll have to deal with. And but they'll love you. They'll love you and your future spouse. And you know how kids go through a very rebellious phase at least one point in their life, right? Your kids may go through that phase, but they'll always come back to you. Oh, like whatever's happened has happened, and I don't want to dwell on it, kind of a thing. Like not letting ego come between relationships, kind of a thing. Right. And yeah, like if you have like more than one kids, the siblings are gonna be the best of friends. So home is gonna be a very peaceful place for you. Mm, yeah, your kids are gonna be very studious. They can also be blessed in the creative fields like singing, dancing, painting, poetry, writing, kind of a thing. You know, they're very creative. They may not really be wealthy, but again, rich in love, not money. It's not like you'll be poor, okay? um, you'll be comfortable enough, but not like crazy rich or anything. But yeah. Okay, pile number two. That's all I had for you. Thank you so much for trusting me with your time, space, and energy. I hope um I hope you have the most loving and caring family, and I hope the reading resonated. I hope I'm given the honor to read for you again. And yeah, we will look into all these three categories like your future spouse, your in laws, your children separately in other pickup line readings as well. But for this one, this is all I had for you because it's like 20 minutes long already. 23 ish. Yeah. But yeah, I'll be ending your stream here today. Thank you so much. I love all of you, and I'll see all of you in the next um, pick a pile or reading. But yeah, bye bye. Hello, pile number three. Welcome to your reading. This reading has three parts. One is who your future spouse is, second is who your in laws are, third is your kids. Okay, and even these categories are divided further, like the future spouse, um, how your future spouse looks, or their characteristics, and how they treat you. With the in laws, it's who they are and how they treat you. Your children, what they're like, what they'll be like, and your connection with them. Okay, and yeah, before we get started, we have your general information. Your affirmation is you have everything you need. It reminds me of a song. Everything that I need, I already have. Everything that I have is all that I need. Anything I desire, I will receive because my reality is created by me. It's a good song. I don't remember where I heard it, but I did. Yeah. But your lucky color is purple, a very lavendery purple, or a very deep purple. Okay. Yeah. Your lucky numbers are 6, 8, and 9. And your lucky days are all of them. I know. Very cliche, but yes, it is true. All of the days are your lucky ones. And let's get started with your reading. My pile number 3. If they are a dude, they may have a mustache. They like maintaining a mustache. And regardless of the gender, they have very curly hair. A dark head of hair. And they don't have issues like balding or, a receding hairline or anything like that. You know, um, thick hair, dark, and they kind of have small eyes, like not huge. Like they do have a huge. They have like beautiful big eyes, but they like keeping them either they always look down, so their eyes seem small, and you cannot see a lot of their eyes. You only see the lid, or they open their eyes half, like the half-lidded um stare kind of a thing. Okay, and they don't like being seen, so they have a very shrunk presence. Okay, like someone who's, probably always in the corner of the room kind of a thing. They do have a very deep or a loud voice. But yeah, their outfits are always, covering, like, they don't like weird cuts, off shoulders or tank tops kind of a thing. The more they're covered up, the more good they feel. It can be a temperature thing. They may be like skinny where they feel cold all the time, so they have to cover up. But yeah, they have a sharp jawline. So yeah, they could be skinny. Hence, they feel cold, so they have to cover. They're tall, okay, usually they usually fall on the taller side of their gender, and because they're so insecure, they may not show it openly. Like they're not standing tall, they're slouching. Yeah. Even their clothes, they're always on the darker side, like blacks and browns. They prefer keeping a very low profile. The more they're hidden, the better. And they'll always be surrounded by animals. Like this is a painfully introverted person, and only, how the shyest people hang out with animals, they just, go around with animals, kind of a thing. Yeah, like, if there's a lady, they're not wearing high heels, they like wearing flats, you know, like very low key. They're gonna be very awkward even in their posture. You're gonna be like, oh my god, this person is so shy. But, like, on the outside, they may look like they're insecure, but internally, they love how they look. Okay? It's not like they're having a terrible self esteem where they feel like, oh, I'm not really pretty or stuff. They're working on their self love. So it's not like they think they're terrible or something. They're just introverted in nature, shy. They have a hard time coming out of their shell. Or they've been betrayed by a lot of people, so they feel like it's not safe to be around people. Okay. And when it comes to their clothes, they wear what someone's picked for them or gifted them, kind of a thing. Like, they'll just randomly pick. They're not intentional whatsoever. Like, apart from, trying to be very low key, so only wearing like blacks or navy blues, dark browns, kind of a thing. Okay. Characteristically, they're very positive. They're very sunshine in a human form kind of a person. Like, they'll not be yapping all around, but they'll be very positive about a lot of things. Like, anything goes bad, they're like the first person. But hey, you know what? Let's not give up, or let's try this, let's try that. Like, the first person to this see the best in things. Okay. And they don't dwell on sadness for too long. Okay. Like, something sad's happen, they'll be sad for 5 minutes and then they'll move on doing something else. They're very um cat-like in this sense. You've you don't see a cat sit around, cry over anything. Like, something bad happens, the cat's gonna sit there for like 2-ish minutes and then just, run around. um very family oriented. You know, they feel the safest in their home. They like being home. They don't like going outside a lot. They just like being at home. You know, the less people, the better. And it takes a lot of time to get them out of their shell. But they're very chaotic. You know, they're like, again, like very cat like. You know, cats look all mysterious and stuff, but they're the animal that does the most nonsense things ever. You know, something like that. Like they'll be all mysterious and stuff, but they'll be the one who's sneaking into the kitchen at 2 a.m. doing weird science experiments. But they'll treat you well, you know. It'll take them some time to warm up to you, but they'll be the they'll be like a dog, you know, once you get to know them. Like all mushy and wagging their tail around you, following you around, etc. Like very cute in that sense. Okay. And they'll worship the ground you walk on. They'll love you a lot. Okay. The most, like, you would be surprised that, oh, this person is capable of loving like this. Their love language is definitely not words of affirmation. Uh, Not initially, at least. As soon as you get to know them, you have like a deeper bond, then the words of affirmation will come. But yeah, before that, it'll be avoidance. Yeah, the love language is running away from you. Like, they'll be chilling somewhere and then suddenly they spot you and they'll bolt like they've seen a ghost. You know, very chaotic like that. Okay, let's see your in laws. What are they like? They probably will live in a different country or a state as you or your future spouse. Maybe your future spouse moves away from their native place or home for education or work purposes. Okay, so yeah, they'll be from a different culture or a state, but they're very emotionally open. They're happy to have you. I think they're just happy that their child found someone. They were scared that, oh my god, my child's gonna die single, given how they behave and all of that. Very black cat energy. They'll be the happiest. For them, family is really important. And they may have picked a few arranged marriage proposals you may meet through arranged marriage, to be honest. But yeah, they may get a little emotional sometimes. Arguments may happen between them. There's no easy way to say it though. Like, I think uh, the women are kind of argumentative in their family. So that is something you may have to struggle with. And They're pretty much average in everything, you know, like finances, it's pretty average, education, it's pretty average, properties, finances, everything's pretty average. It's not like they're exclusive in one department or the other. But they may be spiritual people, like, they may go to temple often or churches often, like depending on your um, religion and stuff. So, yeah, spiritual, but again, very average in any other aspect. You'll be like a family member to them. It's not like they'll hate your guts or something. Some people are just, they just have a sharp tongue. And that's true in the case of your in laws. They do have a sharp tongue. And they're very restrictive. Like, um, culturally very grounded, right? So, very orthodox kind of people. Okay. And, but yeah, they'll treat you well enough. It's not like they're abusive or anything. Okay, let's look at your kids. You may have two kids of the same gender, and there may be a miscarriage involved, or you may have issues with fertility, but the kids will come. There may be a delay, but they'll be there. Okay. Very authoritative, like tiny rulers running around. Like, if they want something, they want it. You know, you cannot um, talk them out of anything. If they put their mind to something, they want it, regardless. Okay, and very moody, emotional kids, but they'll be very quick with education and growth. Like, they'll make a lot of money. They'll be like the richest people um, the family seen. Okay, and very quick success in life. But uh, love life may be a mess for your kids when it comes to their connection with you. How you treat them is how they'll treat you. Like, if you're trying to control them, if you're trying to be very rigid with them, they'll be very angry, upset. They'll be like, no, mama, no, papa, I don't want to talk to you, etc. Right? So you'll have to sacrifice your ego a lot of times for them. But I don't think necessarily it's a bad thing. They're kids, they have a mind of their own. But uh, would you rather your kids be pushovers? Like, let them be rebels. Like, how would you feel if your child has a boss that's just pushing them around, making them work five extra hours every week? That wouldn't be a good feeling, right? Someone who takes stand for themselves, it's a good sign. But yeah, it'll be a rocky relationship, but overall it'll be a good relationship. You don't have to worry too much about it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had for you, pile number three. Thank you so much for trusting me with your time, space, and energies. I hope your reading resonated, and I hope I'm given the honor to read for you again. And I hope you have a good family, a loving, caring family. And I'll see all of you in the next reading. And yes, I will go into more details in future readings about who your future spouse is, who their family is, and what your kids are like, each in separate readings. So we'll get more details, right? So, yeah. But for this reading, that's all I had for you. Let me know in the comment section what you felt about it. And yeah, I'll see all of you very soon. Either in the next reading or the next stream. Until then, take care of yourselves. I love all of you, and bye bye.